Welcome to Game Plan Africa. My name is Charles. I am one of your hosts. Today, I have the pleasure of joining me, Rachel Ankomah. Rachel Ankomah, we have her on the program on our segments that we call I Hail You. I Hail You, of course, is to give honor to who honor is due. One of the goals of Game Plan Africa is to honor people that are doing work in the sports industry in Africa, and especially the ones that we don't hear their stories, but they are doing tremendous work. Rachel is one of those people. She is the founder of Accra Majestics. I'll let her finish the whole name if I messed it up, but she is the founder, and what really caught my attention with Rachel is the fact that she's doing work in the sport of rugby. That in itself is something that I don't see quite often. So we invited her to talk to us about what the program that she's doing. So welcome to the program, Rachel, and we are glad to have you.
Thank you. I'm also honored to be here.
So let's start. First of all, please forgive me. I know before we started, you told me what it is. Accra Majestics, was it sports?
Yeah.
Club?
Academy.
A sports academy. See, I'm getting old. I have plenty children. I have this old man brain. So it's Accra Majestics Sports Academy, right? So let's start from the beginning. How did your journey, tell us about your journey into sports, specifically rugby, and I think you do something in flag football as well. So tell us how it all started.
Okay, my journey in sports actually started when I was in senior high. I'm a sports person. I did literally most of the sports if you think about it. And then when I went to university, I was the team manager of a volleyball team. And then a colleague of mine saw me, I think on the court one day, and he liked what I was doing for the team. So he told me to come and manage a rugby team. And that is how I started my rugby journey. So a colleague introduced me, and then, that's how I started. But with the flag football, whilst training for rugby, we realized that we occasionally saw them on the pitch. We don't have a lot of rugby pitches or the American football pitches in Ghana. So mostly we try to share the pitch here. So that's how I met some of the flag football guys, American football. And then I got to know them and also get involved.
So you mentioned something about not having the facilities for rugby and obviously American football. That we'll talk about later, because I have a question about that when it comes to challenges that you're facing, when it comes to the work you're doing. But something that always, I'm a filmmaker, right? And I try to tell African sports stories. And what I always love to ask is, my subject in my stories is, what inspired you to start the team that you have? Because you are the founder of Accra Majestics Sports Academy. So what actually made you, inspired you to start? I know you talked about the background, how you got into rugby, but what exactly inspired you, and what was the moment you knew you had you had to take this leap and go into sports administration?
Okay, so whilst I was involved in rugby, I realized that the talent was actually huge, but then there was little to no structured development to nurture this talent. So it inspired me to create my own team, or let's say club, because it was a club before it became an academy. So I was inspired to create my own academy so that I can create platforms for these young ones to bring out their potential. And also, I didn't just want to create a team for just the sport. I wanted to create athletes that can make impact the lives of others, both on the field and off the field. And it was something I didn't realize we had a lot of in Ghana. So yeah, that inspired me to create my own team just to make a difference. And the turning point was when I realized that if you needed change to happen, you would have to do it yourself. And yeah, that is what inspired me to start. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, I really appreciate that. So now let's talk about. I want to stay on that, the inspiration and everything. Um, Starting a sports team in anywhere you are in the world. I don't care if it's here in the United States or there in Africa, especially there in Africa. It's not a small thing. It is a small feat, right? There are a lot of challenges, and once you mentioned you don't have the facilities, it's rang a bell in my head. So my question is, starting a small, like I said, starting a team is not a small feat. What were some of the biggest challenges you faced in setting up your program?
Facilities, accessing facilities was one of the biggest challenges. Like I said earlier on, we don't have enough rugby or flag football facilities in Ghana. So that was one of the major challenges. And then funds, one of the biggest, because in Ghana we are known for football. So all the money is going into football. So
well, I'll say something about that. I'll have you say something about that. But go ahead about having the problem of competing with football or soccer.
So getting funding for the other sports was very challenging, and then also convincing people to try rugby was one of our biggest challenges because of the stereotyping surrounding it. And a lot of people see rugby as a very aggressive game, so they don't want to get involved. So convincing people to play is was one of also the biggest challenges we faced as a team. Yeah.
All right, so next question. I am going to go off script, right? Because I wrote down questions that I will ask you. But you mentioned something that always, like I said, I love to tell African sports stories. And in Game Plan Africa, the goal of this podcast is to expand and tell other stories of, other sports other than football, because in Africa we are drunk with football. I'm a huge football fan, right? And because of that, other sports are suffering to gain attention, to gain attraction, the fundings, like you just mentioned, that they need, right? So what is the struggle? You just mentioned, but I need you to expound more on that, of what you go through trying to recruit players to come and play rugby, right? Or even, like you said, try to source for funds, having to tell people this is actually a very notable sport and I need you to invest in it.
The struggle is hard. Yeah, it's very, very hard. With the recruitment part, the parents actually of the youth, they all know about football. And those who are interested in sports, they are encouraged to do football because we see the pathway and we see people traveling outside to play. So convincing some parents to let their wards try rugby is a very hectic job. There's been occasions where I have to meet the parents and talk to them and convince them. In the end, they leave their ward in my care. So they tell me to make sure I take good care of the ward, make sure everything is covered. So getting players is not easy. And with the adults too, because of work, most people are working to earn their living. So trying to convince them to make time for a sport that is not paying them is a very huge challenge. So we are trying our best, but the struggle is hard. And then when it comes to the funding.
Okay.
Yeah, with the funding,
go ahead, sorry.
Rugby is well known outside, but then in Ghana or Africa as a whole, it's not known that well. So getting individuals, organizations to sponsor is very hard because most organizations want to see where their investment is going and how it will benefit them. So if you don't really have the fan base like that, you don't have that visibility, it's very hard to get them to sponsor or get involved. And the facilities, like we know, In Africa, we have a lot of football fields, a lot. But then when it comes to the other sports, we don't really have much. But fortunately for us, we are able to use or find ways and means to, tweak or pimp the football field to meet our needs. So I think that is what's sustaining us for now. Yeah, but then the struggle is real.
So it's amazing because again, when I noticed that you were running this program, it was different, right? I don't think I know a male administrator in rugby in Africa, right? I know most administrators for sports in Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, because I've come to Ghana to do stuff, and it's because it's a paternal society, right? Where it's always male heads in everything they do, so everything is male dominated, right? So when you find a female running an organization, it's always I'm always very inclined to study what they're doing, because I know they're already you're already behind the eight ball as a woman in Africa trying to run an organization, right? So I commend you for what you're doing. But the other question that I have pertaining to these players, because what you're trying to do as well, I think, is to change lives, right? Not just the commercial aspect of it. So tell me, have you noticed any changes in the lives of these players on or off the field?
Yes, a lot. I've had some instances where some of the players even came to me to tell me a lot of things. And some of the changes I've seen is their physical health. Sports helps you physically, the fitness level and all those things. And then it reduces diseases or sickness in a way, because when you're healthy physically, it boosts your system and everything. So that is one of the changes I've seen. And then the confidence level of some of the players. When they joined, they were shy, they weren't so confident. Even when you ask them something, they won't talk. But now when you see them on the field, as if they are extroverts, like, it's amazing. It's really amazing. And then the mental health. And that part is very important to me, because most at times we don't think about the mental health of the players or maybe the workers. But this is one part I've seen most of the players improve on. I had one player actually confessing to me that before he joined our team, he was mostly depressed because a lot of things weren't going on well in his life. But when he joined, the atmosphere, the environment we created for them, and the family environment we have made it easier for him to get rid of some of the stress. And it also helped him mentally, because when he comes around, he's happy. So it helped him, get over his stress and the depression. And yeah, I think it's something we are doing for the players, because the players are what keeps us going. So if we don't take care of them, I don't think we'll stay we'll stay there for long. So these are some of the challenges I've seen. And also seeing some of the players represent the team is also a morale booster for them. I've had some of the players bragging to their friends that, I play rugby, I have this position, I do this. It makes them happy. It makes them feel this sense of belonging. And these are some of the things I've experienced. And I think it's a good start. Because, I'm trying our best.
I like that you mentioned the mental aspect of it. I am very big on mental health. And coincidentally, this month is Men's Mental Health Month, right? We are from a continent where now, thankfully, a lot of work has been going on men's, encouraging men to speak up, but it's still a continent where we know it's hard for a man to come out and say, okay, like you just mentioned, you had a player that come out and said, I was going through depression and this program is helping me. So again, I can't thank you enough for the work that you're doing.
Thanks.
I just love when it doesn't have to be sports. Whatever program that anybody's doing to give these young ones, or anybody to come out and have a safe space and say, okay, I am comfortable to, to say, okay, I'm going through this, and this program is helping me go through it. So I appreciate you for that. Like I said, this is the I hail you, segment. So I hail you, ma. I hail you, ma. How do you say? Is it etiquette that you say when you want to say thank you? In
Tree.
Okay, what tribe are you from, Ghana?
I'm Fanti and Akan. Let's say Akan, Fanti and Ache.
Oh, okay. Okay, so how do you say thank you when you want to appreciate somebody?
With that says thank you.
Okay, all right. So
with that, yeah.
Anyway, I hail you. All right. So one other thing I wanted us to talk about is, it's rugby or flag football. And this is like a rapid fire questions that I'm going to ask you, right? Rugby or flag football. I know you didn't talk much about flag football. I wanted to concentrate more on rugby because, it's more of what you're doing. If you could play one for the rest of your life, you, Rachel, right? Play rugby or flag football, which one would you pick?
Wow. I'll go for rugby.
Rugby, okay.
Yeah, I'll go for rugby.
All right. So the next one is, if you had one athlete, right? It could be in rugby, it could be in football, it could be in soccer, it could be in anything. You need them to come and train your team, right? It's one of your goals to talk to them and say, come and train my team. Who would be that athlete?
Jodie Cunningham.
What sport does she play?
She plays rugby league, and I've actually been following her for a while. She really inspires me. She's really doing a lot for rugby league and then women in general. So I think her hard work and her resilience is something I want to see. Yeah.
So you said her name is Jodie Cunningham?
Yeah.
So Jodie Cunningham, if you're listening to this, you have a big fan in Rachel, and she would one day hope for you to, come in and train her team, even if, or maybe, send in a good word, because she is doing an amazing work. All right, so we're going to be closing, and one of the last questions I have, because I know you have a busy day ahead of you. Confession, we use almost 30 minutes to set up because of technical difficulties between America and Ghana. If it was Nigeria, it would have gone on smoothly.
Hey, no. Are you sure the lights wouldn't have gone off?
Anyways, that's another debate for another day. So my next question to you is, what keeps you going on the hard days? When you wake up and say, man, it's a lot going on. It's, there is no funding coming in. There is people. It's hard to recruit players. What is the one thing that keeps you going?
Okay, I'll say the passion for the sport and then my players, because I love the impact we are making in the lives of these players, and that is one thing that keeps me going. I get happy when I see the players performing, being themselves, and making an impact in the community. So one of the things that pushes me, inspires me to keep doing better.
Awesome. And also, if somebody's out there watching and they want to support, volunteer, be a part of the work you're doing, they look at you and say, man, I can't believe that she is doing all this work, and they want to support. How do they support, or what do you have to tell them to come in and support?
Okay, volunteering is one of the ways, because we need a lot of human resources to help us keep the academy running, and then donations, whether financial or equipment or product, because we need these things to also keep the academy running and take care of the players. And then sponsorship and partnerships is very, very important to keep us going. Because in everything you do, you need funds, you need resources. So if anybody wants to support, these are some of the ways they can support us. And also sharing our story. The more we go out there, the more like people see us and the more opportunities we get. So these are some of the few ways people can support us.
Before we started today, I looked at my phone and I saw that you were going to be honored by an organization. So I need you to tell me what the award is, and I also need you to tell me about other recognitions you've gotten over the years, and as my people would say, this is when you feel carry shoulder for up. Show yourself that you've been doing it for quite some time and you've been honored. So tell me about the awards over the years, and who you've met, in the world of sports, be it rugby, be it flag football, or any other sport.
Physically or virtually was.
Virtually fine, spiritually, all of them. In your dream self.
Oh, okay. I hope I can remember all. Okay, so with the awards you saw is from, I think, the Top Business Awards Summit. Yeah, and then they are awarding me and my academy for doing well since we started. I think they are awarding companies that have been in existence for 2 years and above and are excelling or doing well in what they do. Yes, so that's what the awards is for. And then for the other awards, I think so far I've received about 4 awards. And my first one was in 2021, Youth Sports Personality of the Year. I won that award. And then 2023, I think I had 3 awards. Yeah, I had 3 awards in 2023. And the first one was Ghana Students Awards. So I won the Sports Personality of the Year. Yes, and then I won 40 under 40 awards for the sports category.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, I was the only lady, and it was interesting. I was competing against football coaches and founders and basketball, and I won. So it's beautiful. And then the last one.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah, and the last one was Women in Sports Awards. It was given to me because I was literally the first woman in Ghana, or let's say Africa, to own a rugby league club as at that time. So that was before we turned into an academy. So I was the first woman to own a rugby league club in Ghana or Africa. Yes. So these are the awards I've won so far. Yeah.
I'll come back to the awards thing, right? But the reason I asked about Judy Cunningham earlier is so maybe she's your video and say, okay, I want to come to Ghana and visit and see the work you're doing. What is one food you recommend for her to eat? Not Ghana jollof.
Thing I was going to say, Ghana jollof. Oh, that is the thing.
Leave the jollof for Nigeria, but
yeah, definitely Ghana jollof.
Okay, that's good. So when I've tried Ghana jollof, it's actually pretty good.
I'll forget the banter when you come. Don't worry.
Forget the banter and everything. It's really good. It's not up to Nigeria, but it's good. No, the awards and the recognitions, right? Like you just mentioned, I think you said 40 under 40, and you won above, every other sports, male-dominated sports, administrators and stuff like that. That is to show you that you are appreciated. That is to show you that, somebody's watching and getting inspired and motivated by what you're doing. We want to say, again, I hail you. I want to say thank you for the work that you're doing. I know there's a young woman out there that is watching you and saying, man, I want to be like like we say, I want to be like Auntie Rachel or, Miss Rachel. I want to get to where she is. She's the one that inspires me every day to wake up and do what I'm doing. So for that, we want to honor you. We say, continue doing it, and, success in your endeavors. And we are so happy that you, out of your busy time and technological, problems with Ghana, that you were able to join us today. So thank you so much, and hopefully we get to talk more in the future.
Definitely. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. How do you say goodbye in your language?
Hey, goodbye. Goodbye, how do you
Charlie?
say it?
Charlie?
It's not bye-bye. Honestly, I hardly use it, so please forgive me.
All right.
Like, okay,
All right, take care,
it means later. So normally we use later, yeah.
Okay. All right, Charlie, later.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, take care, Rachel.
You too.